All right, welcome back, YouTube. So I have private students that I do reviews for on a weekly basis or every other day, just depending on when I have time. But since I'm going to be doing the free mentorship on YouTube, I thought it would be beneficial to just post those reviews on YouTube instead, to just showcase everything that happened on the day. I will be doing them on a daily basis, or at least I'll try to for most days. I'm not too sure about what time they will be uploaded. They'll definitely be after market hours. And depending on what schedule I can make sustainable for me, then I'll come up with that schedule. These are very, very beneficial for the trader who's trying to learn my model to begin with. So if you're going to be serious about learning that and actually turning your trading around from wherever it currently is to the next level, you do need to watch these reviews every day, because I'll basically be talking about what happened, what I could have done better, what I did do well, and what I can improve on. Not every day I will be a perfect trader. Some days I'll take losses just like any other trader does. And some days I'll just miss trades just like any other trader does. So the goal of the reviews is to show my students basically the trades that I either took that were great, or missed that I didn't take, or trades that I took a loss on that I can reflect on and see if I would have changed anything. Not every time I will change anything that I did. And sometimes, some losses are just unavoidable. So yeah, they'll be very raw. I'll try to make them as quick as possible. I don't want to drag them out for too long of a period of time, so that they're easy to digest. The goal is to make them 10 to 15 minutes max. And yeah, so let's just jump right into it. Oh, sorry, before I forget, don't skip throughout the video. Try to watch the whole thing, because context matters. So whatever I start with will matter for the later on trades. Without the context, it's really difficult to get a full picture on what you did wrong or what you did right. All right, cool. So starting off today, let's go on the 5-minute real quick and zoom in. Starting off today from yesterday on the PM session, obviously we ended up the day quite bullish. And so we'll start breaking it down from 1800, which is right there. On 1800, we'd have CISD here before the day ends, right? And then we have our high, low, and another swing high here. That makes this sweepable, okay? So market opens, we sweep that. There is a bullish breaker here on the 1 minute, and obviously that delivers. We then have, again, new CISD here. We have high, low right here, and then high, making this also a sweepable, like so. And there's also a 1 minute breaker here, which also delivery, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just double check real quick. Let's see what it delivered to from here to here. Yep, 4 standard deviations. All right, so yeah, awesome. Did it deliver? That then gets swept again here. So this sweep is a fresh sweep because this actually delivered. So we don't count that as a failure. This did do what it needed to do. And now this is a new one. Here we have a BISI per model. I haven't explained that just yet on the YouTube series. We'll get to it. But that BISI doesn't have a 1 minute breaker to go along with it. So this is what I would consider a low probability BISI here. So yeah, if you were live trading this day, you would ignore this, because this is a false BISI essentially. So you're going to get a lot of stop outs that come out of it. And yeah, as you can see, like we have, let's see, a breaker here, which gets stopped out there, a breaker here, which gets stopped out one more time. And then finally the last breaker, which finally holds. So yeah, you just inquire unnecessary losses for no reason here. So all you needed to do was just wait for the 5 minute to give you a new CISD with a new sweepable. And that would be here, CISD there. And then we have high, low, high. That's our 5 minute sweepable. We also have the 15-minute structure doing the same thing. I won't zoom out on this right now. But yeah, after the sweepable here, we have price come in, tries to make a breaker, but fails to do so. So there's nothing for you to do. You're sitting on hands. Then price goes down, takes the lows once again. And once it does, we do have a breaker right there. So that would have been your bullet number one for the 1 minute. Now, that being said, this is a pretty bad bullet number one at the time, because there was no way this could make a busy here. Okay. So when you want to take a shot of the 1 minute breaker, you need to make sure that the 5 minute structure can support that, especially if it's going to be bullet number one. For bullet number one, you basically want the most perfect setup when it's bullet number one. For bullet number two, it's a little bit different, because bullet number two, and I'll get to this. Well, let me just hold on till later, because I got an example for that. But for bullet number one, you want the best possible setup. And here you were not going to have the best possible setup. There was no IFEG here, right? Like at the time, there was no IFEG. This candle started going up, but once it comes back and eliminates the possibility of ABC, because this is going to be overlapping or closing near here, then you pretty much already know that this is about to get cooked. So you just don't enter on this trade. Okay. Now it runs the low one more time, and then price starts going up slowly, and it just gets stalled here for a very long time. Again, no IFEG here, right? At all. There is a busy, so at least it has that going for the trade, but no IFEG. And so let me zoom in on the 1 minute. As far as the 1 minute, it is technically valid, and the breaker that comes out of it is this breaker from here to here, which goes to almost 4 standard deviations. It goes past 2. Now, this is what I would grade as a B breaker. No IFEG, no busy. It did close on the first time, so it has that going for it, at least. And the breaker block candle, which is this blue candle here, it's an inside candle between this swing high and this swing low, making it so that this is literally just B. Those go to 2 standard deviations at most, to 2.5, which it did do that. It delivered, and it didn't need to do any more than that. 4 standard deviations would have been a blessing, but it didn't need to do that. Price then comes, and so keep in mind this. Where's the tool? So this is the actual bullet number one, especially for the 15-minute structure as well. Let me zoom out real quick. So high, lower, low. So this is bullet number one so far for the 15-minute, and is bullet number one. No, sorry, number two for the 5-minute so far. Okay. So let's zoom back out, and let's go on the 5-minute. And yeah, so what you want to do is you want to mark out which bullet you're on for the side that you're playing. So in this case on stream, you guys saw me mark bullet number 2 if it runs that low. And on stream, we talked about this trade. He did run that low, and people were eager to start buying around here. I had some people asking on stream if I was going to be bearish or if I was going to try to buy that. And I explained why I'm not buying this. This buy here to me didn't make any sense for me to be taking here, because there's no breaker. Okay. So let's break this down. You have a high, low, but there's no high. So this low actually is here. And then you have a low, high, low, sorry. Low, high, low, lower, low. And then it goes up higher. From the swing low to the swing high, there is no blue candle. The blue candle, it's supposed to be the breaker block. This blue candle is not part of this swing low or this swing high. This blue candle is separate from this swing high to this swing low. So in this portion, there is no blue. Therefore, that wasn't bullet number 1 because there was no trade. So yeah, that trade gets ran. And once it gets ran, and this is where my mistake on the stream was, is this almost every time it's an automatic take for me. Almost always. Bullet number 2 almost always is an automatic take, as long as I still believe that my draw on liquidity aligns with this. And that's where my mistake was today on the stream. Again, because it's bullet number 2, right? If it creates a breaker here to the upside, and that breaker fails on the 1 minute, then my idea is no longer bullish, and we're actually bearish, and we are going to go to lower prices usually. Once I lose 2 bullets, we typically speaking are switching from one side to the other side, and I'm just wrong on direction. So once this breaker was created here on the 1 minute on this candle, I should have realized that I needed to be taking this instead of waiting around for a better entry, because there was going to be no better entry. So you could have taken this here, expecting this to get formed. If this breaker didn't get formed, then you will need to close this straight out, because this is going to be your stop loss and it's going to get taken. But because this breaker confirmed that breaker, then yeah, this would have been a fine entry. And this is the actual breaker that you want to see. This is the highest probability to the left. And then this is something you can take if you expect this to get formed. But this will cost you a couple more losses usually, although it will give you better R. So yeah, that was my big mistake there, unfortunately, today. And obviously, as we can see, we deliver 4.5 plus. In that same area, where is it? That same area is also a 15-minute breaker. So you got a 1, 5, and 15, and this is a 15-minute sweepable. So that's where I fell today. I definitely should have just taken this trade, and the targets would have been either 4 of the 1 minute, 4 standard deviations of the 1 minute, or 4 standard deviations of the 5 minute. And then for the 15, either 2 standard deviations or 4.5, depending on, how price had printed. Honestly, once it started going crazy, it was very obvious that it was just going to keep, going up higher and higher and higher. Now, let's go back out to the 5 minute real quick. So once price is going absolutely nuts and it's going up higher, we have a new CISD. It can be here, 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 anywhere. It doesn't really matter. CISD to the upside. We didn't have a swing high, low, high, making this a sweepable on the 5 minute. And of course, we sweep and then we create a new breaker to the upside. Now, this breaker, unfortunately, never got retested. So unless you anticipated this breaker, I don't think there was a way to get in it. Let me double check. Yeah, it made equal highs there. So that's not a confirmation if it's equals. You need to actually have a closure above for it to be valid and so on. But yeah, this is the projections that we're following basically for the rest of the day. That and the 5 minute, which is just a little bit higher. And so we go to 4.5, which delivered. And then we have a pullback. Now this pullback here is also valid per model. So on the 15 minute, this breaker here, so low, high, lower, low, higher, high, this breaker, the nearest sweepable is not here because there's no swing high here. There's a swing low, but there's no swing high to it. So you cannot draw the path tool like so, because there's no swing high to attach to it. So this swing high would go all the way up here. And then you have a swing low right next to it, and then a higher high. And let's zoom in on that real quick so you guys can see. So high, low, you can see that's lower than the 2 candles, and then a higher high. So this would become our sweepable on the 15 minute, like so. And I think, is it a 5 minute as well? Let me double check. No, it's not. It's just a 15 minute. Well, technically if you use the day prior, but I'm not going to overcomplicate the YouTube stuff with that just yet. All right, cool. So yeah, sweepable is here. It's ready to roll and price goes up higher. We come all the way down towards the PM session and we sweep. So once we sweep, we're looking for a breaker to the upside. And that breaker to the upside is right here. So swing low, high, lower, low, making this the CISD. Let's put the fib from the bottom to the top of that. And that's basically the projection that we're following on EOD. Now here, we do have an IFEG. We do have a BISI. It did close on the first time. Very likely what's going to happen when the market opens in a little bit is that we're going to push to complete this and go to 4.5 standard deviations. It doesn't have to do that, but that's just likely what's going to happen. Now, there was a short opportunity as well here on this section. I did not partake in this. I was done with the market at this point, but there is. You have 5 minute structure, the ISD to the downside here, right? You didn't have a swing low, high, low, making this your sweepable. We swept it. And now here, we're looking for a breaker to the downside on the 1 minute. There is no breaker here. There is no breaker here. It wicked it here, so there's no breaker here. Finally, we get a breaker up here. Now, this breaker was really tricky, and depending on how you drew it, you would have gotten more or less R. So the way that I viewed it is low, high, low, high, low, high. There is no low to attach from this high here, but from this high to this, there is a low. Okay, and because this high is above this low, you would count it like this, then high. And so if once we close below here, so go like this, and it goes like this, and then here, 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 all the way to right here. Okay. So we'll zoom in real quick. We'll screen this portion. So from this swing point to that swing point, there is a red candle, which is here. That's your breaker block candle. So once we close below the swing point here, which we did right here at 1459, that would have been your trigger to go ahead and enter. So the next candle, which is 3 o'clock, opens. You would have set your stop loss here and then take profit. Would have been 4 standard deviations of this, or 2 standard deviations, depending on what you were targeting. Now, this is 4. This breaker is a dookie breaker for me. It doesn't have a IFG, doesn't have a CB. It wicked. So this is the lowest quality breaker. This would be a 2 standard deviation type breaker for me. I wouldn't write it for anything more than that. That being said, let's zoom out real quick back to where we were. Oh, wow. Price did fill the 4 standard deviations. I didn't realize we had a huge gap up. So, well, there you go. There goes the proof that it delivered. 4 standard deviations, done. Okay, so on the 5 minute here, it was printing the CB. So when this candle prints the CB, it makes it so that this breaker is a lot more likely to deliver to 4 standard deviations. So if it is printing a CB, you can go ahead and target the 4 standard deviations. What you can do is, if it already hit 2 standard deviations, you can trail your stop to candle 1 of the CB. If it fills that gap, you get out at candle 1, you lose a little bit of profit. Instead of making 2R, you made 1R, or a little less than 1R. But if it keeps it open, you automatically are going to make 4R on the trade versus before. So yeah, anyways, all right, cool. That's it for the review. I try to make it as short as possible. I know I did a little bit more today because of the intro and so on, but hopefully you guys learned. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please give me suggestions on how I can make this better. And yeah, see you guys next time. Bye.